the sculptures that we have at World of Chocolate were created for us over in Europe, in Austria. We have a team of sculptors. There were 3 chocolatiers in Austria who actually worked on all of the sculptures that you see here. It's sort of the crown jewel of what we have within the museum. And we have 25 handcrafted, supersized, very detailed sculptures, literally made out of solid chocolate. One in particular is the Abu Simbel temples, which is in Egypt. And actually it goes back about 1,300 years ago for the original monument. The pharaoh at the time had this monument built in honor of himself. And you'll notice on the structure there are 4 statues there, and each of those is the same person. It is this pharaoh from back about 1,300 years ago. And actually what happened then about 600 BC, there was a massive, massive sandstorm. And what happened was this whole temple, actually it's 2 temples, it was consumed by this massive sandstorm, and it was lost for centuries. And it wasn't until the early 19th century, actually 1817, when some explorers rediscovered this and unearthed it, and here was this magnificent monument. And after that, sometime, there was an earthquake, some people say, and that's why one of the statues on this monument was damaged. One of the monuments that we have is the Taj Mahal, and it's made out of white chocolate. It is solid white chocolate. Technically, white chocolate is not chocolate. It's considered to be a chocolate derivative. Actually, the Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany, it's actually in Bavaria. It's a very famous castle. And when we had our sculptors come over here, the chocolatiers from Austria, we had them inspect in detail and make sure that everything was okay with all of these sculptures. In particular on this castle, what they did, and you notice inside the windows, there's a dark that's inside those windows. I watched them as they melted dark chocolate, and with very tiny, very small little paintbrushes, went inside each of those windows, and they were painting dark chocolate inside those windows. And after the sculptures, then we've got some machinery that we talk about. We also have complimentary tastings. So as the guests sort of make their way through, they get to try a number of different kinds of chocolate products. And we talk about the cocoa percentages, and we talk about the dark chocolate and milk chocolate and so forth. And then we also have some molds. We talk about chocolate molds and the creation of hollow products versus solid products. And we've got wrappers. We have over 465 different wrappers from different companies in different countries, literally around the world. Give you a brief history as to where we start, at least at the World of Chocolate, with the growth and evolution of chocolate as we know it. In the rainforest environment, we start back about 3,000 years ago, and we begin with an early civilization known as the Olmecs. So then we jump ahead, we go into another one of our rooms, and we talk about the monks of Spain. And the monks of Spain actually are credited with taking that ground up cocoa powder, mixing in sugar and milk, and warming it up over an open fire, and creating what we know today as hot chocolate. Then we go into another aspect in Europe in the 1600s and talk about Anne. And Anne was a very wonderful person. She not only was Archduchess of Austria, but she was also Queen of France. And what we like to talk about at World of Chocolate is the fact that she probably single-handedly was the person most responsible for the spread of cocoa throughout Europe. One of the key aspects of the World of Chocolate Museum and Cafe is that we want to broaden everyone's understanding of chocolate, appreciation for chocolate, and realization that there literally is a world of chocolate that's out there.